So one of the biggest challenges in Power BI is avoiding clutter. And in this guide, I'll show you a clean solution using field parameters where with just one chart and a slicer, we can dynamically switch between different metrics and dimensions. So in this case, we usually, when building a report, you end up with basically duplicating charts where you end up needing to implement a quick fix to avoid cluttering like this because it looks really messy and it's very unappealing to your client. So in order to implement the field parameter, first we need to create measures because field parameters basically only work properly with measures in my experience. And the formulas tell Power BI basically how to aggregate each metric that we're going to present. Where in this case we'll be summing sales, profit, and customers. So to start that off, we will be creating a new measure in our sheet. And for sales, we'll be calling it total sales. And then we're going to sum it and reference to our sheet as well. And it's going to be here. And then we just close bracket. And that's our first measure. And for our other measures, I'll just be copying and pasting it for the sake of simplicity. All I'm doing is replacing the word sales with profit and customers. So we'll do that really quick. Another new measure. All right. And now we'll get to the part where we actually create the field parameter, where we go to modeling and new parameter and fields, where you can call this whatever you want. I'll be calling it dummy one. And then you select all those measures you just created, and we basically have another slicer. So we need to implement it into our chart, otherwise it doesn't do anything. So to do that, we select dummy one, which is what we called our slicer. Going to move it to the x-axis. You can see it creates a chart. And another metric we can use is region or even product even. And you can see that it shows every single product in line, although it's not chronologically ordered, but that can be fixed later. Doesn't really matter in this case. And for this case specifically, we can go even further, which you can apply to your own reports, where we can create another field parameter for the x-axis of our chart. So we'll just go back to modeling, new parameter, fields, and I'll call it dummy2. And region and product, I guess. So back to implementing it to our chart, it doesn't do anything by itself. So instead of product, we're going to replace it with dummy2. And you can see it changes every metric that we have and makes our chart dynamic, reduces the clutter on our report by probably fourfold, and it's very beneficial for your report. And if you think you don't have enough space in the dashboard and you have the same data for X and Y axis for multiple measures, you can basically use field parameters to replace that. And you only need one graph and a couple of measures or multiple measure switches to show your multiple measures. And basically, it looks great and it's advanced and it shows you have great knowledge in Power BI and reduces clutter and makes one chart act as five, which is very beneficial for you.